Welcome to tonight's web class. Tonight we will be discussing how life experiences shape us. I'm Keisha Golder, and I help women define their unique purpose so that they can live a life that they created on their own terms. I also created the Your Life Makeover Journey, which is a 3-stage, 9-step program that will change your life for the better, but we'll talk more about that later. I want to take the time to remind everyone that there will be a question and answer section towards the end of the presentation. So if you hold your questions until then, I will greatly appreciate it. We're going to do a quick recap of last week. Last week, we talked about why it's okay to have a change in your purpose, the reasons you may have a change in your life purpose, and what to do when you feel your purpose changing. If you missed that web class, you're more than welcome to visit my website, KeishaGolder.com, and revisit it, or go to my YouTube, Keisha Golder, and do it there. This week, we are going to talk life experiences, what they are and how they're created, how life experiences shape us and our views, and also how we can use life experiences to create the life that we want. Let's jump right on in. So, what are life experiences and how they are created? Life experiences are experiences that are gained through living. It's also knowledge that is gained through living. So this knowledge or these experiences can be gained through everyday interactions with other people. They can be gained through attending school, reading, the hobbies that you basically anything that you participate in, and you're interacting with other people, or you're learning something on your own. Life experiences are unique to each person because we all have unique perspectives. You and I can be in the same place at the same time and go through the same experience. But guess what? The way I view that experience is going to be completely different from the way you view that experience. And of course, that's okay because we're all different and we're all unique. And the things that we have encountered up until that day that we experience the same thing all play a part in how we perceive or view these experiences that we encounter every day. So, you have to remember that life experiences or experiences in general either teach us a lesson or they're a blessing. And in teaching us a lesson, it is either what it is that we want more of or what it is that we want less of, or things that we know that we do not want in our lives. So I am going to now talk about the different types because there are positive as well as negative, as with anything, types of life experiences. So the positive ones are learning about a new culture or a new way of life. Anytime you make a big life altering decision for yourself, and showing someone how you truly feel or having someone else express their true feelings for you. It can also be things like getting married, falling in love, having a baby, moving to a new house, getting a raise, anything that is going to affect you positively, that's going to create whatever happiness is for you, that is a positive life experience. On the flip side, negative life experiences can be loss of jobs, suffering trauma, divorce, separation, breakup, experiencing death of a loved one. These are all things that we may or may not experience at some point in our lives, but when we experience them, they tend to affect us negatively. Now, one thing that I have realized just from my personal life experiences is that we as people tend to hold on to the negative life experiences far longer than we hold on to the positive ones. And it's not that the negative experiences hold greater weight than the positive experiences, but we in general give the negative experiences more power. So, how can we stop giving the negative experiences more power and holding on to them longer than we do the positive life experiences? We can stop feeding them. And you're probably looking around thinking, what does she mean by stop feeding these negative life experiences? I'll give you a scenario. How many times has something gone wrong? Has something upset you? And instead of taking it for what it is in that moment, feeling the feelings and letting them go, you feel the feelings and then you share that experience with someone else. Well, sharing that experience with someone else is not allowing you to let go of the feelings. It's making you hold on to those feelings longer than necessary, longer than you have to hold on to those feelings, longer than you want to hold on to those feelings. And then you don't stop there. You tell that one person, and then you go and tell someone else, and then you go and tell someone else, and you go and tell someone else. So every time you share this negative experience that you experience with other people, through telling a story or recapping the situation, you are burying it deeper, burying those feelings deeper. You're connecting to them down in your core, which makes it harder for you to get rid of those feelings or get rid of those thoughts and those emotions that correlate to that negative experience. When we have positive life experiences, yes, we do communicate and share those with others, but not as much as we do the negative experiences. Here's something that I want you to do. The next time that something bad happens to you, I don't want you to share it with anyone. I want you to experience it, feel it, acknowledge the feelings that you're feeling, let it go. Wash your hands of it. Do not give it another thought. The next time something positive happens to you, I want you to share it with the world. Anyone who's going to listen, I want you to share it. And I want you to see the difference in how you feel from sharing the positive experience as opposed to sharing the negative experience. So next we're going to talk about how life experiences shape us and our views. This may sound a little too deep, but it's not. So life experiences shape us through our conscious mind and our unconscious mind. And so for those of you who do not know, the conscious mind is where your thoughts, memories, feelings, and emotions are stored, but we are aware of them at any given moment. The unconscious mind is also a storage area for our feelings, thoughts, urges, and memories. But they're tucked away, they categorize, and we only really go there when we're not thinking about it or when something tugs on us to go and pull out that memory. So I'll share something with you. As a child, I was what people would call a sensitive child. You would look at me and I would start crying. Not that I did anything wrong, not that anyone was yelling, not that there was any type of commotion or drama going on around me. You literally could look at me and I would start crying. But as a child who continuously cries, you're often told to stop that crying. Nobody wants to hear it. So you learn to shove down your feelings and your emotions so that you do not cry. So how did that shape me? Growing up and even well into my adulthood, I wouldn't cry. I do not care how badly someone made me feel. I do not care if someone died. I would not shed a tear because I was conditioned as a child to not cry. I was conditioned as a child to not feel emotions. So regardless of how I felt, and my brain would be able to process the feelings. So it's not that I was void of these feelings. I knew what feelings were. I know what happiness is. I knew what sadness was. I knew all of the gambit of feelings. I knew them. But because I was told to not cry, to stifle my emotions, I would not allow myself to feel anything. I would not allow myself to cry. I would not allow myself to simply express anything that conveyed or related to feelings and emotions. Now, I know better now. I'm more capable of expressing myself now, but that didn't come easy. That came with a lot of work. And the work of not just me, myself, I had a coach who helped me work through that. And to be honest with you, he was able to recognize it in me. And I just felt like it was a way of life. It was just how I was because I was always like that. From the moment that maybe the second time I was told to stop crying, you know, you get your eyes may well up, but you're doing everything in your power to hold back those tears because you don't want to be yelled at because you're crying, you're experiencing feelings. So he was able to recognize that that was something in me that I was doing. And I'll tell you, I fought him tooth and nail because I don't have feelings is what I would say. I don't have feelings. Even though I knew I did, even though my brain was able to process feelings, but I would say that I did not have feelings because I did not know how to express them, because I was never allowed to express them. So I was shaped to not express my feelings, to not cry, to not show any type of emotion. My conscious mind knew that these feelings existed. My unconscious mind knew that these feelings existed. But my unconscious mind had that barrier. It served as a protector for me because even though it knew that I was feeling these feelings, it would tell me, remember, you're not supposed to cry. Crying gets you yelled at. Crying gets you fussed at. Crying makes people look at you a different way. Makes them look at you as weak. You don't want to be seen as weak. So just hand those feelings over to me and I'll tuck them away in this corner and you never have to worry about them. That is how life experiences shape us. So when you have those positive experiences and you keep reinforcing those positive things, your unconscious mind is able to say, hey, this is good. We can do something with this. Yeah. We're able to tell people how we feel. We can laugh. We can cry and know that no one is going to see us as weak. No one is going to yell at us for having feelings. So that's how we're shaped. It's our mind either protects us from things or it allows us to experience the things that we know are going to be good for us and that technically were reinforced in us as we were growing up. And you know, here's another thing about that, because I am a mother of two boys. And as a kid, a girl, I was told not to cry. And you always hear people say to their sons, boys don't cry. Suck it up. Be a man. Boys are tough. I was the complete opposite with my children. I encourage them. I have a 17-year-old and an 11-year-old, and I encourage them to cry because I know what it feels like to have someone tell you that you're not able to cry, that you can't cry, that you can't feel your feelings. So it not only shaped me into not expressing my feelings for a while in my life, but it made me do the complete opposite when it came to my children. So I encouraged them to express themselves. I encourage them to cry. I encourage them to go out and yell at the top of their lungs if it's something that they feel that they need to do. All of the things that I was taught not to do growing up are the things that I encourage them to do. So our life experiences shape us on our personal level, but also how we interact with other people. Now, how can we use life experiences to create the life that we want? You can use your life experiences as a lesson, as I talked about earlier. So sometimes in life, we're taught lessons. We have these lessons. Those of us who are more spiritual know that or believe that we are given a lesson and we're going to keep getting this lesson until we learn it. So that will look like you attract the same type of people in your life continuously. No matter how the relationship, and the relationships does not necessarily mean intimate relationships. No matter how long you have these relationships, how these relationships end, you keep attracting the same type of people until you learn the lesson that is being taught to you. So and I can attest, one of the lessons that I had to learn in life was to not allow people, or to not allow my value to be dictated by people. God, it took me a long time to learn that lesson. But I kept attracting the same type of people. And this is intimate partners, this is friends, this is just people in my circle. The same type of people that continuously wanted to take from me, to take from the bank, but never put a deposit in. And I continuously allowed them to do it because I felt that my value was attached to how they felt about me, how they valued me, when my value is only attached to how I feel about myself. I'm the only person that can determine my value. I know that now. I've learned that lesson, and I no longer attract those type of people. Yes, you may have people to try you because they feel you're still the same, or you haven't learned that lesson, or they figure you did it once, you'll continue to do it again. But once they see that, no, I'm not the same person, I've learned that lesson, and I no longer allow other people to determine my value, they move on. So you can use all of those experiences in your life to teach you lessons, to know what it is that you want, what it is that you don't want, how you want to feel, how you don't ever want to feel again, what you want to achieve, what you don't want to achieve. Life experiences can be also used as stepping stones for the things that we want more of in life. So if you have these positive life experiences with learning about other cultures or learning new things and creating this life, or making these decisions that are going to determine great things for your life and give you the outcome that you want, use your life experiences as a stepping stone. So if you make one decision today and you see that that decision has a ripple effect for the good in your life, continue making those decisions. They may be big, humongous, and they may not be so big, but continue making those decisions so that your life is moving in the way that you want it to move. We determine everything in our lives. We are accountable for everything. We are responsible for every piece of our lives. It's only when we give up our power to other people that we're no longer in control of our other lives. Life experiences can also be examples of what you do not want and you would rather live without in your life. So, like I said, those negative experiences. I use that experience of growing up as a child to know that I didn't want my children to experience that in life. So I made the decision that I was not going to stifle my children emotionally. I was going to let them express themselves emotionally. And a part of me making that decision was knowing that I needed to do that on my terms. Everything else may not have been on my terms in my life. But that one thing, no one else was going to dictate to me, no matter how they felt about it, because I knew what it felt like to be stifled as a child. Here's something else that you need to remember. Life experiences shape us, but they do not define us. There are some people who have been told that they would never amount to anything. And the experiences that they've had in their lives have confirmed that. But they decided that they were bigger than those experiences. They were bigger than the people that told them that they would never amount to anything. And they've made great things out of their lives. So you're not defined by your experiences. Yes, they have a hand in creating you and shaping who you are, but they will never define you unless you allow them to. So now we're here at our question and answer portion. If anyone has a question, please feel free to unmute yourself, or you can type it in the chat and I'll answer your question. I love to keep in touch with everyone. Here are the ways that you can keep in touch with me. You can follow me on Facebook at Keisha Golder, Coach Keisha Golder, YouTube, Keisha Golder, LinkedIn, Keisha Golder, and of course, my website, KeishaGolder.com. Next week, we're going to talk about why you need to create a vision for your life. Most of us, well, I know I'm a visual person. Some of us are not, but creating a vision for your life helps you really define the things that you want out of life. So we're going to get into why you need to create that vision for your life. Remember I talked about my life purpose makeover journey? Well, like I said, it's the 3-stage, 9-step program where we talk about where you are, where you want to be. We talk about your values, your core values, your belief systems, your life experiences, how all of these things create you and shape you to who you are, and also how you can utilize all of these things, your values, your belief systems, your skills, your vision to define your purpose, to voice out loud, finally, what your purpose is. And once we have your purpose, we create the blueprint for how you will fulfill your purpose. And the best thing about the blueprint is it not only works for this purpose, it will work for any other purpose that you may have in your life. So if you want to talk to me more about anything on this roadmap, go to KeishaGolder.com/let's talk and book a 30-minute talk with me so that we can figure out exactly what it is that you need to work on, or what it is, whatever questions you may have that I can answer. I'd like to thank everyone for joining me tonight, and I look forward to seeing you next week.